Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully this is working. I have literally no idea. If you could let me know in the comments as usual if you can hear me okay. Hopefully it's all working alright. I thought I'd do something a bit different today, and I've been having a little bit of a play with the Giants editor and doing a bit of map making, and I thought I might as well do a bit of live map making just to put me on the edge even more than I already am with the Giants editor. So if you could, let me know in the comments if you can hear me okay, and I'll just give it a couple of minutes before starting because I want to give you a little bit of a background of what I'm trying to do here. And if you miss the very beginning bit, then it'll not make very much sense. But yeah, so I'll give it another minute or so, and then I'll explain where I'm coming from with this, and then we'll get into some map making for Farming Simulator 19. And of course, today there'll not really be much in the way of game noise or anything like that, so you're just going to basically hear me chatting, and I'm not going to chat all that much because I need to concentrate on what I'm doing, and as you'll be well aware, I'm incapable of doing two things at the same time. And also, to give you a bit of background as well, I know nigh on nothing about Giants Editor. As I say, I've been having a bit of a play with it over the last few days, so I'm like, I'm a bit green with it, put it that way. And if anything happens to the live stream, as per usual, occasionally for some reason my machine blue screens when I do a live stream. It's the only time I ever have problems with my machine is when I'm doing a live stream. And if that happens, just give it 2 minutes for my machine to kind of reboot and reconnect. But hopefully, touch wood, maybe it won't blue screen today. We shall see. So, hello to people who are on. Fantastic. We've got a few people on the stream already. We've got Virtual Crash, Ironless. Great stuff. Right, I think I'm going to make a start on this. So basically, I've decided, just for a bit of a laugh, that I want to build a real life farm based on a place that people could actually go and visit. So most of the farms on Farming Simulator are fictitious farms, and I thought it would be fun to try building one. I have no... I can't see this ever being released, but you never know. You never know. So I might as well film a bit of this. And I figured it would be fun, if nothing else, just as a little sideline project for myself. This is something that's going to last for a long time, because I am not anticipating that I'm going to get this map finished within the next 6 months. It's going to take... If you've ever had a play with map building... it takes a long time, and normally professional map builders, they've got like teams of people working on it, and this is just going to be me. Anyway, so we're in the northeast of England. I'm in Newcastle upon Tyne, as you might be aware, and I figured it would be nice to just pick some random place in Northumberland. And the place that I've picked is kind of around here. Let's have a look, because it's just got a bit of interesting terrain to it, and this little hill here is called Titlington Pike, and I've walked it many times. There's plenty farmland around here that I can map out, and so this is the area that we're going to be working on, and I'll just show you it in the Giants editor. So here we are. This is a Giants editor. Don't ask me to explain anything because I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. But I've already managed to get a relief map put into Giants editor, because one of the biggest challenges is making sure that you're actually working on, if you imagine all the kind of undulations of the land around here. If you're wanting to build a vaguely realistic map, then you're going to have to get the terrain detail right, otherwise it just won't look right. So the first challenge is getting that done, and I've already done that behind the scenes, because that took ages. But so if you can just see, this is the map well, this is this isn't the map, if only. This is a screenshot from Google Earth in the Giants editor, and I'm just using this as a reference basically, and I've used this so that I can get all the roads in the right place, and I'll eventually be using it for getting all the fields in the correct places and whatnot as well. Let me just kind of move around a little bit here. So if we can kind of get Google Earth to be in the same vague perspective as that, then you'll be able to see where I am. Zoom in a little bit. So a good reference point is this little Animation Creations. It's Northumberland, so it's it's just south of Powburn, if you know where Powburn is. So north of Morpeth, and not quite as far north as Alnwick. So we're kind of well, as I say, Powburn's there. But as I say, I figured it would be nice to try and build a map that you could actually go to in real life. I'll just zoom out so you can see where we are. So we're kind of Northumberland, in the Northumberland Hills. And where are we? I've insta lost. Where am I? There's Wooler. There's 697 Powburn. There we go. Yeah, Giants Editor. It's a beast of a program, but I think I've got my head around enough of the basics to maybe make this work. I have no idea. So if you look at this little dogleg in the road here, and you've got that crossing over the A697. If I go into here, so there's a crossing. If you can see where my mouse cursor is, there's a little dogleg there, and it follows round. We've got this. This is a real life farm here, which hopefully I can kind of vaguely build up. Let me just show you back on Google Maps. So there's that farm just there. So I might be able to get some farm buildings in and whatnot and try and build this up a little bit. Yeah, we're right in snob country. So, but this is the kind of area that we're doing. And let me just bring this back. So as I say, I've already done the terrain map. So just so you can see where we're going with this. The terrain, to get the terrain in, let me just move this. So there is the actual, this is what I've done so far. It's all hazy because I'm zoomed out so far. Let me just zoom in. So please don't expect anything spectacular here. It's going to look like some sort of comic book cartoon map. All I've done so far is I've got the roads accurately in. And I've marked out where the fields are going to be, and these are all based on where the fields are in real life. So the only thing that isn't real so far is this little grey area here. That is on the actual map. That's here, but I needed somewhere to put the shop, and I figured this little area's kind of quite flat, and it's on the junction of two roads, so it's quite easy to get to. So that little area there is where the shop's going to be. and there is a shop there actually. So as I say, I'm just using the map as an overlay reference point to get everything in the right place. But I've pretty much got everything marked out now. You can see, for example, these are just footpaths over on the right hand side here, because they go up by this little mountain, little hill, Titlerton Pike, and there's footpaths all around that. They're all marked on the actual map, and I was thinking of maybe putting some buildings up this neck of the woods as well. And what else have we got? Just the screenshot map bleeding through. So yeah, this is accurate terrain data. It's based on this is going to get quite nerdy. So on a rating of nerdiness, this is probably going to be about an 8. We're not quite into the realms of actual coding, but we're certainly getting into the realms of editing XML files and dealing with a whole load of different applications to make this all work. So what I've done here is I've imported actual real-world LiDAR mapping data to get the terrain details all correct. I've just got the screenshot map I've just got underneath, so that if I need to reference it, then I can bring it up and have a look at it. But for now, I'm just leaving it underneath there. But I've done most of the marking out, and now I'm just plodding on, and I'm starting off. I want to get this main road in, so let me just show you that on the map. Because the easy thing to do is just go into Street View and just follow the map and just add little details on as you follow along. So this is the road, A697. This is pretty much the starting point of the map here. Where have I gone? Giants editor here. So this is kind of this point, if I can kind of vaguely get down to street level. You can see I've already started putting a little bit of detail on, but I don't want to put too much on until I've got this road in, because the road is probably one of the hardest things to get right. So that's what we're going to be working on tonight, is putting this road in. Right, I've got my navigation speed set crazily high at the minute, and that means everything's jumping about. Let me just turn that down. Yeah, that's a bit better. So we're going to try and build a road. Basically, that's the plan. If we come out of this live stream with a vaguely functioning road, the main road, the A697, coming through here, then I'll be happy. But as you can see, the terrain data is all kind of worked fine. There's Titlerton Pike there. There's the hill. As per the map, it's all coming absolutely fine. That's kind of over in that direction. It's behind that bush. You can't really see it. Anyway, right. So the plan for this road, if I understand it correctly, and you can see I've already made a start, is that you put in all of these little placeholders, and then we're going to try and create the road surface based on where all these placeholders are. So I'm just going to kind of go for it. I've already, as I say, I've already made a start with this, and I had a couple of problems, so see where we get on. So that's the first one. Please don't expect this to be particularly exciting. What I'm looking at here is the height of each road section. So this one, what were we at? 1.125. That one is at 0. See, that's a bit too much of a jump. And that's at 1.915. 1.471. Okay. Just going to kind of bring these down a little bit. They might disappear below the surface, that doesn't matter. Down a little bit. I feel like starting making a map is one of the things you'll regret because it'll consume your life. Yes, you are 100% correct. It absolutely, it has consumed my life. As I say, this is a project I'm just going to do a little bit every day, and I'm not going to attempt to get the whole thing done in one go or anything like that. I'm just going to keep adding to it over time, and we'll see how we get on. I might give up on it, or it might turn into a thing. Who knows? Right. .1.12, so that's 0, 1.125, 1.208, 5. Just don't want too much of a transition between each road section here, otherwise it'll be noticeable on the final thing. You'll end up with like a jump in the road, if that makes sense. Where are we? So we've got that's 0, that's 0, that's 1.125. So let's move this one up a little bit. .108. .252. You've gone up. Come down. Some of this just has to be trial and error, really, and you try it in the game, and if it looks ridiculous, then so be it. I'm just going to move this whole road section. Actually, no, let's leave it there. So, 0, 0.164, 1.1. I'm looking at this translate Y in case you're wondering what on earth I'm doing. I just don't want a massive jump between each road section. 1.125, 0.927, 0.637, 0.417, 0.302. Right, that's good. That's fine. Okay. So I think the rest of this was vaguely alright. So what I'm going to do, so I can see where each of these little markers are, I'm just going to move everything up a bit. And then I'll move it back down where it doesn't really matter. All of this up. So what I'm now trying to do is make sure that all of the road sections are like kind of in a relatively straight line. So I haven't got ones that are like off to the left and then one that's off to the right and things, because that kind of stops the map from working properly. Just have a look at the height difference between them. Yeah, I think that third one is still a bit too high, that one. You can muck on with this for ages. Yeah, you're right. Animation creations. The roads around there are quite bumpy anyway. Right, All right. We just, this section here needs to go right a tiny. You get the general idea of what I'm trying to do here. And it doesn't matter if these don't follow the land perfectly, because I can fix the land. The main thing is that you've got a road that's kind of horizontal from left to right, or kind of level from left to right. Because generally roads are. they obviously the curve off at the sides, but they're normally, you don't want too much of a kind of, would it be like a weird camber to the road? You don't want too much of a, so for example here, if I was to follow the shape of the land, the road would end up being at an angle, you know, exaggerated. It would be like that. And in real life, roads aren't like that. So what I'll do is I'll get the road in and then I'll build up the land around it, if this works. Famous last words. This will, if this works, it'll all make sense what I'm trying to do here. You're probably looking at this thinking, what on earth are you doing? I mean, I'm looking at this thinking, what on earth am I doing, to be honest? You see here, we've got a whole section that's like literally underground. Fine. I'm just gonna kind of hope that I put those in the right place. I'm gonna come back and check that underground bit. Can you create potholes to make it even more accurate? If you play the Sandy Bay map with seasons on, you get potholes, and they get repaired in the spring. I think I haven't tried it with the seasons mod, but as far as I'm aware, that is a thing. That would have to. I don't know how to do that. You would have to program it in. But yeah, the Sandy Bay map, as far as I'm aware, has potholes that appear over the winter and disappear in the spring, and you see where the road's all been fixed. Okay, that looks pretty good. Right, we'll just check that bit that's underground. What do we think? That all looks okay, I think. Does that look unusual? Maybe that tiny bit to the left. Right, we're going to go for it. Hope for the best. Be all right there. I can tweak it afterwards, so that should be all right. I'll just save that. Right, so what that? Where am I putting it? I shouldn't need the shapes file. Leave it there for the minute. Right, so to create the roads, I'm using this program called Spline Street Constructor by TrackMax. Thank you, TrackMax. It's amazing. The only slight problem is that it's in German, but I have watched many YouTube tutorials on how to do this. Let's try and get it right. That's opened on my other monitor. I'm opening this little ini file that comes with it. Strasse.ini. And then I'm going to copy that over there. I'm going to import our splines file that we've just created, which is that one there. Tell it to create, what should we call it? Excuse me if I don't talk very much at the minute because I'm trying to work out what's going on here. Right, I want the road to be a little bit wider. I want it to be 8 meters wide. And which road was it? GT Street. GT Street 2. That. I'll be a happy man if this works. GT Street 2. Oh no, that's the verge, isn't it? This one, GT Street 2. Okay, I think I've got most of that. I think this is how many sections it gets broken down into once it all gets glued together. And by the way, you can do this manually, and you can just take each road section and try gluing it onto the next one. I tried that and nearly threw my computer out the window. So if you are trying to make roads on Farming Simulator, then I think this is the route you need to probably go down. We'll see. It's going to be a little bit trial and error. I think we're ready to rock. Let's go for it. Go. Okay, it's done a thing. That's a good sign. It hasn't come up with any errors. So, what have we created? We've created this one, main road lines 2. So I'm going to copy that into my kind of working directory. You can see this is from where I've been having a play with it. Let's call it road A697. And I'm going to copy that and that and the verge. That's basically an image for the road surface and an image for the verge. If this works, I'll be genuinely amazed. Right, let's drag and drop this into the map and see if it works. Where's it gone? Oh, that's it. Okay. In the map somewhere. Oh, okay. So what I need to do is put it as part of this transform group. What I'm actually going to do is make a copy of that transform group. And copy it out of there. Oh, which one is it? It's one of these. Well, they're both the same. It doesn't matter. Go into that one. Then I can get all of these kind of marker pieces out of that transform group. And then I can hide my original one. I'm not deleting it yet in case this doesn't work and I have to come back to it. Right. As I say, excuse me if I don't talk because I'm kind of concentrating a little bit on this. I think that might have worked. It's just a little bit underground. Bring it up a bit. Got a road. It's worked, I think. Lordy. That's pretty good. Right. So, obviously the road's in midair at the minute, a little bit. That's fine. That's easy to fix. The first thing I'm going to do is try it. We'll drive a vehicle along it. Let's just bring it down a little bit. There. I'm just going to knock out these bits of land here. I'm having to really kind of concentrate on trying to do this while live streaming. Is probably not like the best of moves. Right, where's my brush? Let's just try smoothing it out first. Why is that doing nothing? Little mouse is set to smooth. That should be working. Oh, it is working. Okay, well, remove then. So, right mouse buttons remove. Sorry, the reason I'm having to kind of remind us what mouse button to press is because I'm using a pen and tablet to do this. And as a result, I don't have a right mouse button or middle mouse button. I've got that programmed up to my shuttle wheel, so I use a contour shuttle wheel, and therefore I've got everything kind of mapped onto there, and as a result you kind of have to keep double checking yourself to make sure you're pressing the right button. But that's kind of working. Good. Got some grass coming over the edge, but I'll fix that in a minute. Oops. Fine. We've got a bit of a jagged edge there that I'm not going to leave. We're right at the edge of the map here, so not that bothered. Okay, cool. Right, I'm just going to kind of work my way along the map and fix any major problems. I would quite like this to be underground. Oh God, what have I got my sensitivity set on? Right at a mountain in the middle of the road. I want that kind of just coming up and no more. Okay, that's going to be trickier than I thought it would be. This is one of these bits where until I try driving a vehicle along it, it's really difficult to tell. Oh, what am I doing? Really difficult to tell how well this is going to work. I've gone too low there. I might have to add some sort of junction thing onto here because I'm struggling to get that. Okay, that'll do. I'm not going to go crazy accurate with this until I've actually tried driving a vehicle over it. Anyone who actually knows what they're doing with the Giants editor will be probably cursing at the screen at the minute. I should probably try this. Should I try it with the vehicle? Let me catch up on comments quickly. Andy, mate, a truck for Xbox One, a GMC. I have no idea what would be involved in it. My son's getting a little bit into Blender. I know nothing about Blender. The only 3D program I've used, as you might be aware, is SketchUp. I'd love to learn Blender at some point, but you can do all of that. You can make custom vehicles and stuff, but it's a labour of love. This should end up being relatively accurate to this road. So let me just show you where we are. So if I come along this road, here's a little bend in the road that we've just come past. There's a lot of the undulations that you just can't see because there's trees in the road, but I think we're around here at the minute. Here's where it it's bent off to the left and then it bends off to the right a bit. So yeah, so we're about there. We're pretty much where that bends off to the left, and now we're bending off to the right. So that's pretty much exactly where we are. Blender's a right pain in the backside. Yeah. Yeah, Blender looks like an absolute beast, even more so than this. You see, we've got... look at this. We've got this double line thing going on. What's going on there? Such is life. I'm not that bothered. If you imagine on some of the big maps that you see on the mod hub, imagine how long they must take to make. This is a relatively easy bit as well. if anyone's looking to get into map making, the basics of the Giant editor are relatively straightforward. You can load up any existing map into here and just have a play with it. That's what I would advise you do if you want to get into this. All you do is you go into your game folder, which is on PC the default location. If you go to Documents, My Games, Farming Simulator, Mods, and then in the Mods folder you've got like every mod that you've got installed. So install just any random mod map and then unzip it. Farming Simulator always works on the zip file, so if you unzip it you're not going to cause any problems, because as long as you leave the zip file there, then Farming Simulator will still work, but then you can go in and start editing the map, and then it's not until you zip it back up again that Farming Simulator will look at it anyway. So if you want to get into doing your own maps, just open up, I'll show you that later on. Once I've got this working, I'll open up like Greenwich Valley or something, and I'll show you. Because then you get a real appreciation of how much work goes into building these maps. But as I say, I really wanted to have a map based on a real place, and hence this little project that I've got going at the minute. But I'm just going to do it, as I say, a little bit every day. I'm just going to keep adding to it, and it's just something a bit different to do during the lockdown. Right, that'll do. You can actually see the road now. I'll just smooth out this kind of area here. Not doing anything. I've got the hardness turned down a bit. I'll turn that back up to 0.5 for the smoothing, because that doesn't seem to be doing very much. Too much. 0.3. Whoa! Whoops. Do. I should probably have a bit more of a verge there, to be honest. I'll work my way along the map eventually and get it a bit more accurate. As I say, I just want to check that this is actually working first. So if you give us 2 minutes, I'll just get this vaguely tidied up, and then we'll try it with a vehicle and see if it works. So folks, let us know in the comments how you're all getting on during the lockdown. Are you surviving lockdown life, or are you back at work yet? I know some people are back at work. By the way, I've found the key to getting Giant's Editor to work is to get your shortcuts set up for, you can see over on the left here, you can see I've got the brush type set as round, and then you can tell it what you want the left mouse button, the middle mouse button, and the right mouse button to do. So I've got the left mouse button, which on my graphics tablet is the pen down, basically touching the pen on the page, adds. So that does that. That's me literally just drawing on my tablet. I've got the middle mouse button. I've got programmed that. Obviously, I don't have a middle mouse button on my tablet, so in order to make that work, I've got it programmed up on my shuttle wheel as one of the buttons on there to do what the middle mouse button does. So that's what I'm holding down here to smooth. And then right mouse button is set to subtract. So, and again, I've got a button. There you go. That's what subtract does. Do that. Of course, the nice thing about this as well, if you ever do map editing inside Farming Simulator, you don't have an undo button. Once you've done something, there's no way of undoing it unless you just come out of the game and hope it hasn't saved. But the Giants editor is actually, it's not the most intuitive program in the world, but once you get your head around it, it is actually relatively quick to use. Once you've got kind of your shortcuts set up to make your mouse work. Now it's really changed for me, although work has started picking up. Had a little time to work on the house. Plasterboarded the kitchen. Plasterboarded the kitchen 2 weeks ago. Sorry, that's me trying to read and do map editing at the same time. As I say, I'll tidy this up in a minute. I'm just very roughly getting this right. I have already started putting a little bit of detail onto the map, but until you get what I've been trying to do at first is getting core game functionality working to make sure that the game actually can be played properly. So I've got a working shop, which I'll show you in a minute, and I've got all the fields marked out. That's what. So obviously there'll be fences and hedges and everything, but I wanted to make sure those are all going in exactly the right place. So all the fields based on real life are in. And then the easy bit is the detail. I mean, the detail takes a long time, adding all the little bits and pieces, but it's relatively easy. The complicated bits are getting like the terrain shape correct. Well, I'm saying it's easy once you know how, but okay, I think that'll do. Let's try it. Because there's no point getting it absolutely perfect and then going into the game and discovering. So you can see I've started a little bit of detail here. So if I go back on Street View, turn around. Oh, it's going to be easier to just zoom out. Right, so starting point is about here. So if I bring up editor, so that's not bad, you know. So that is that. So you can see I've started putting some of the trees in and some of the buildings and bushes and all of that. I've done quite a lot around this area here, just putting, because the road kind of goes down here and then it goes into a bit of a ravine thing, a little valley. Right, let's save this. We'll try it. So all I need to do, delete the map I did have, zip this one up. Has there been any advancement on house move? All I can say is snail's pace. It hasn't fallen through quite yet, but it came very close because mortgages were having issues and the buyer was having some mortgage problems. But I think that is now sorted. Let me just load up Farming Simulator. You get totally deafened here. I do apologise. Let me just turn the game audio down in case this is really loud. We got game audio? That's alright. Let me know if the game audio is too... The game audio is too loud, let me know. Actually, I'll turn that down a bit more. Go for that. Right, let's try it. Fingers crossed. We won't actually see the road first. Where are we? Oh, we're there. Yay! There's the road. We've got a road. Cool. Right. Let's get a vehicle and see if it works. Can't hear the game audio at all. I've probably turned it down too far. Give it a second. There'll probably not be much in the way of game audio, to be honest, but I've turned it up a bit. We'll see what that does. Right, I'll buy a vehicle. Let's go for a truck. Got to be black. You can see, here's my shop in the middle of the Northumberland Hills. Should have a little bit of game audio now. Where are we? Try this road. Oops, just jumped over it. Right, we'll go all the way to the start. Need to be careful not to drive off the edge of the map because I've got nothing to stop me driving off the edge, and that completely crashes the game at the minute. Game audio's very quiet. I'll turn it up a bit. Actually, I'll just turn it on full, and if the game audio is too loud, just let me know. Right, so that's us at the start. I haven't used keyboard at the minute. I hate using the keyboard for this. I've got the wheel connected up. Don't drive off the edge of the map. Don't drive off the edge of the map. Right, so let's go for a little drive. The main thing I'm just checking is that they're not like jumping about too much. We are getting like weird bumps between. You see how it's like jumping about? It's a bit odd. Why is it doing that? Ah, you know what that might? I don't know. I know what's causing it to jump. Ah. I do. Let's come out. I know why it's jumping. Any guesses as to why it's jumping? Pop it in the comments. Every 10-20 meters, the car's jumping in the air. Let's see if it is the thing I think it might be. Might not be this. But I think it's this the spline map that I was using. If I put that as visible, are any of these sticking through the road surface? Yes, they are. Look. So even though you can't see it, you still bump over these. So all I need to do is if I move, which one was it? That one. Yeah. I'll just move that further down. Where's my move that under the map. No, don't. Whoops. I'm on the mouse at the minute instead of my tablet. Right, so I've moved that under the map. That's what was causing it, I think. So we'll hide it again. It doesn't really matter because you can't see it. Save it. Saved. And it up. Hopefully that'll work now. We shall see. It's got to be a black truck. Virtual crash. For someone who's played Farming Simulator for a few years and who attempted map building and failed, looks very good so far. You got further than I did. Oh, thank you. It took a lot of patience. The hard bit is getting the terrain correct, and that took a few days of work to get the terrain all sorted. Let's try this. It's quite interesting. I don't know if you're aware of how terrain mapping works in Farming Simulator. Oh, where's the road gone? The road's completely gone. Eh? Oh no. It's gone really weird. In the right place. I'm in the wrong place. Live, isn't it? Yeah, there's the road. that was like, the road's gone, and the map's like a weird mirror image. Oh. Right, okay, let's try this. Hopefully we'll not be bouncing about everywhere now. Yeah, I'll show you quickly. It's quite interesting how the terrain mapping works. Basically, it's based on LiDAR mapping data, and all you do, this took 3 days, you turn the LiDAR mapping data into this kind of thing, and it's just a black and white PNG file, and the light spots are the higher spots and the dark spots are the lower spots, and you can download this information from DEFRA. There's a government website where they've mapped most of England, and yeah, so the area, luckily this area had been mapped. I think most of the UK has been mapped, to be honest. Really impressive. And you can import this into Google Earth, and then you can align it and get the scale right and everything, turn it into a PNG. So every map on Farming Simulator has one of these DEM maps, and that basically dictates like your terrain, if that makes sense. So that's all I'm saying that's all there is to it. It took forever to get that working, but got there in the end. Right, drive. As I say, driving without a steering wheel is possible. We're not getting them weird bumps anymore. That's pretty good. Internet connection just completely died. Have you missed any drama? No, not really. I'm not sure if you saw the bit where I was explaining how the LiDAR data works and how that gets mapped in. It's testing the road. It's good. It's all fine. Good stuff. So, and as I say, I'm going to join it. We're at the edge of the map here. See? I'm going to join it onto a road heading over there. The road's in mid-air at the minute because I haven't sorted out the terrain underneath the road, so that's slightly unusual, I suppose. Unless you live in a part of the world where roads are in mid-air. So I'll sort the terrain out around here, and then I'm going to join this on to a road over here. Let's try not to land upside down. That'll join onto this. This will become a road going all the way up here. I don't think that's the edge of the map. No, it's not. That's good. Anyway, you get the general idea, and then that'll connect up to all the fields around here. These will all be fields. The brown marks are divisions between fields, by the way, and the lighter brown rough dirt is going to be roads. That's going to be a road, a proper road, which I'll sort out. Good, that works grand. Where's my main road? Somewhere over here. It's a 2K square map, in case you're wondering. I think you can do 4K. Where's my road that I've just made? Oh, I recognise this. My road's way over there. Just see in the distance there. That's my starting point for doing the detail. But now that I've got that road in, I can do a little bit more of sorting the terrain out, and then it's just going to be a question of adding all the detail. That's going to take forever. Yeah, it's just like the 167. It's like the Central Motorway. That's as you say, that's a double-storey road. Go to in-cab view here. This bit coming up the top here is kind of, I wouldn't like to say finished, but it's oh, that's hopeless. You can't see. It's a section of the map where I have kind of added some detail on. Kind of here. Let me just show you. I'll show you on Google Earth what that bit of land is. That bit there. If I bring up Google Earth. Now walk down here. Let's try it. Yes, we can. So here is here. As you can see, it needs some work. Needs a lot of work, but this road heading down this way. Ignore those random mountains over on the right. I slipped with the mouse. I will fix that. So this road heading all the way down here, a bit uneven, I need to fix that. This road here is this road here. That is literally the road I'm driving down at the minute. It's exactly the same. Right, I'm going to do a little bit more detail on the map, and then I think we'll call it a day on this live stream, because trying to live stream while designing a map is a little bit tricky. That works. The road works. That's the main thing. Right, I'll just switch back over to my tablet because I'm not set up to control Giant's editor with my mouse. Right, let me just sort a couple of things. That all kind of works. Let's add a bit of a verge. Again, I'll probably sort this out a bit more over time, but I'm just roughly sorting it. Don't think in real life that we've actually got a cliff here. I'm just going to smooth this out a bit. I think in real life that's just kind of undulating hills. Smoothing, yeah. Whoops. Animation creation. As a fan of brutalism, it's a shame what they've done to Gateshead. They're wanting to rip it all down and plant trees down the centre. Gateshead town centre needs some work, mind. No, I kind of know what you mean. I was never a fan of the Get Carter car park and stuff, mind. I don't know. Did you like that car park? It certainly was brutalism. Is that the right word for it? As you can see, creating maps is a bit of a labour of love. We'll fix that endy bit while I'm live streaming. Wonder if anyone's made Northumberlandia. I don't know. I haven't seen any northeast maps. If you've seen any northeast maps on Farming Simulator, let us know. In fact, I don't know. I haven't seen that many maps that are based on real life. Yeah, the car park, the multi-story in Gateshead was it was completely trashed. I used to go there when I was a kid to the restaurant that was on the top floor. There you go. Giving my age away there. That'll do. And sort this here so that the road's not in mid-air anymore. This is going to be actually quite tricky. Has to come up by quite a lot. Oops. Just roughly sorting out so I can actually see where the land is. I think I might do here, you can use the replace function, set all of your land to one height. A bit hit and miss how it works, but sometimes it can, that might help for here. Right. That height. Oh, look at that. Go a tiny bit higher. I really want the grass overlapping onto, because obviously I can't plant anything on the edge of the road there, so I don't want a harsh line along there. So I'm just going to raise it a tiny bit. I've got this set too hard. At that height. Whoa. MJ Modding has submitted Gateshead Farm to Giants. Are you not thinking Gatehead Farm? Because I saw there's a new map called Gatehead Farm, but it's not Gateshead. I thought it was Gateshead the first time I saw it. But it's Gatehead. I was getting confused because it's set at the coast, and Gateshead's not on the coast, so... Again, this needs to come a little bit higher here. Really, it's from about there, needs to be higher. Doesn't need to be perfect, because by the time there's trees and everything, you're not even going to see the land. I just want it so that you haven't got this harsh edge against the road, because that will be noticeable. again, if you are going to be getting into map modding, doing this with a tablet and pen is pleasure. Trying to do this with a mouse, I think, would be quite hard. But as I say, you do have to spend a little bit of time getting all your shortcuts set up. But it's worth it. Actually, here's a thing I just found out today, which if you're into Farming Simulator, I'm not sure if you... There's a couple of channels that I've been watching recently, and they're really good for real life farming. One of them is Harry's Farm, which I think some people recommended to me on here, and Harry's Farm is really good. And the other one is Ollie's Farm, which is definitely worth checking out as well. And Ollie's Farm has just set up, just started doing Farming Simulator videos. So he is an actual farmer in the UK, and yeah, he's just started doing Farming Simulator, which I think's dead interesting, because you can tell us what I'm doing wrong. What's going on here? Oh look, we've got a cliff edge here. What about this height? Again, if you look on the map on where's street? Oh, close street view. Doesn't matter. If you look at this area on street view, it's all forests and trees along this road, so you're never really going to see what shape the land is here. Going to use the replace function again, just to bring everything to one height. That'll be a bit quicker. Replace. Replace is weird because you have to like click off the map and then Alt and Control and R. So if I do Control R here, it'll set everything at that height. You see. So I'm going to do Control R here, and then that'll copy that height basically. It'll exactly copy that height to like fractions of a millimeter. The equivalent of I think it's holding both mouse buttons together in the game, if I remember rightly. Oops. Oh, come on. I don't think we've got any gaps under the road now. Yeah, that's good. I think the only gap we've got at the minute is right at the start. But no one's going to be driving there anyway. So, just here. Whoops. Even leave it like that. We'll smooth it. I know this at the minute looks nothing like anything like a usable map, but you'll have to trust me when I say the hard work is done. It's a fun bit now. As I say, it'll be trees all along there anyway. Fine. I want to sort out this left-hand verge at some point, but I'm not doing it now. Would you release this map once finished, Virtual Crash? I would consider, yeah, if it's good enough. I don't. The trouble is, to get a map to release quality takes like a lot of development time, and I don't really know enough about mod development to. Oh, look at that! We've got a massive gap under there. I need to sort that. I don't really know enough about mod development to do that, because it would take a lot of testing, because obviously not only does it need to be a functional map, but you need to make sure it's going to work with seasons, and that it's going to work with all the different vehicles, and so this, I would definitely consider releasing it if it's good enough. Oh, what am I doing? Pressing the wrong button. That's what I'm doing. Supposed to be smoothing it, and I'm adding. But yeah, I'd love to, but this is going to take a long time. But yeah, I'd love to release it. You don't get any money from releasing it, but it would just be, at least then it's not just me playing on it, if it is actually a playable map. I think that would be kind of fun. You'd be one of my map testers. Fantastic. Yeah, well, I might call on you for that. That would be great. Yeah, I could just put it up to download. I could just shove it on my website, and anyone could download it. Move that a bit. Going on over here. Oops. Okay, I think I'm going to use the replace tool again. I'm just going to copy the height from there. So you have to like click off the map first for this to work. So we're going to go for that height. Let's hope for the best. That's working. The edge. Ah, right, I see. As I say, there'll be like, you'll not even be able to get there once this is all done. But I do want, this road should be a functional road, so let's just build this up a little bit. Yeah, actually, that's going to be a much easier way of doing the verge. I'll just copy the height from there. Get from there. Actually get this verge done now, and then I must go. How long have I been on? Ooh, 1.5 hours. I'll get in trouble. I do this, just this little vergy bit along here, and then that's it. What I'm doing, I'm using, if you see over on the left here, I'm using left mouse button replace tool. I'm copying the height from the left here with using Control R, and then that lets me put, so I can now with Control R, that is setting everything there to that height basically. If I do Control R there, then that'll set everything to that height. So it takes a bit of getting used to, but once you get your head around it, it's whoops. Once you get your head around it, it's way easier than map editing in the game itself. All pretty good there. This bit, that weird line, no idea. Whoops. Trouble from management. Yeah, I'll get in trouble if I'm on this for much longer. Move that out a bit. Yeah, if you enjoyed this, hit that like for more live stream map making. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'll do more of them if it's of interest. Yeah, I've gone too low there. I've got too much of a sharp edge. Sort that out at some point. I want to kind of blend it, if that makes sense. Move that a bit. We're looking pretty good there, I think. We're done. As I say, this will be completely covered in trees anyway. You're not going to see that much of the actual land with this. Yeah. So just to show you, once you've kind of got everything sorted, then what you can do is you can add crops or grass or whatever in whatever growth stage you want. So if I go into foliage mode, so if I want to do grass, I think this is, and this is in binary, believe it or not. So for example, if I want a grass bush, well, if I want normal grass, I think it's 1 and 7. Not. No, why is that not working? Because I haven't set that on grass. 1 and 7. Oh, come on. What are you doing? Should work. Weird. I'm on foliage paint mode. Maybe it's because my 1 and 7. I'm just gonna save because that should, just in case it like suddenly crashes or something, because that should be drawing. That should be drawing grass on. Try 0, 2, 3, 7 should do bushes. Nothing's working because I've got. Oh, absolute. Because left mouse button's in replace mode. Okay, this time 1 and 7. There we go. So you can draw, for example here, I've just drawn some grass on in whatever growth stage of grass that is. Likewise, if I want bushes, it is, I think, don't hold me to this, but 0, 2, 3, and 7. As I say, this is, you see, got bushes. This is binary, so that is 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, actually. So it's just, it's weird how it works. So I'm gonna get rid of that and just do 0 for all of that. That should get rid of it. But you can literally, you can draw crops on in any growth stage you want. Did I get rid of all the grass there? What happened to the grass? Oh, there it is. So that's why you're wondering why there's grass growing through the road all the way at the start of the map. That's why. So all I need to do to get rid of that, I'm already set on 0, so if I just do that, you see I've remove too much now because my brush is too big, but you get the general idea. Right, folks, I think we'll call it a day before I get in trouble. There we go. Fix that. Let us know if you would like to see any more live map making videos, and I'm going to be plodding on with this in the background because this is going to take years. I would say minimum 6 months this is going to take me to get it vaguely usable, but I'm just doing a little bit here and there, so I will try and live stream it every now and then if you would like to see that. Go. Not a bad start. We've got the road, that's the main thing. Lots more to do. Okie dokie, folks. Thank you once again for watching and joining me. Stay safe. I shall see you all next time. Bye.